Good afternoon, everybody. Well, it's afternoon where I am and what I'm doing. Anyway, welcome to Chem 111L. My name is Rob Fremland, and I'm going to be your instructor, tour guide, etc., confidant, any number of things that you want me to be for this class. And this video is to welcome you to the class. So welcome to the class. Hope you had a good holiday. And I'm going to go over the syllabus and the website. So let's go ahead and get started. You can tell I'm a little punchy because I've done several of these today, and this is the last one. All right, so this is the syllabus, and this is the Canvas site, and so I'm going to go through all of these. You'll see that the syllabus and this video are also on the Canvas site, but let me go through the syllabus. So this is the lab that goes with the Chem 111 lecture. So this should be some interesting stuff and just kind of some gee whiz chemistry, some environmental chemistry. You're going to get to see how some cool stuff works. We're going to do some stuff on how much calories are in food, some stuff with color, with energy. We have a climate change model type of thing. So I think you'll get to see some really cool stuff. All right. This is the course objectives. You can read for yourself. There's no textbook for the course, so you're just going to do everything online. It's all supplied to you in the modules. So like this stuff right here, if you look over here, this is what would be in the textbook. In the lab manual, in the old days, you would buy a lab manual. Let me just do this. However, because it's an online course, you definitely want to have reliable internet, and you're going to need to upload some documents. So make sure that you can do that, upload them as PDFs. So whatever means that you have to do that, then you should definitely do that. And you should come up with, let's see, you can get some apps for your phone that'll do that, but I want them as PDFs. Might not be a bad idea to have a printer as well, because it'll make your life easier. And you'll see what I mean in a little bit. Okay, as far as office hours go, we have our class sessions, but I also have office hours. Everything is by Zoom. There's a link to my Zoom room right here. But this is also the information. This is the meeting ID. That's the password. That link will take you there. This is my email if the timing doesn't work. My office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays 10 to 12, Tuesdays and Thursdays 10 to 11. But if you need me some other times, that's fine. Okay, let me talk about attendance. So attendance, so to speak, virtual attendance. So we're gonna, the lab is gonna meet at 2:20 on Wednesdays, all right? So every Wednesday at 2:20, and during that time, there's going to be a quiz on the experiment we're gonna do that day. So it is imperative that you're there on Zoom. The rest of the time, you don't really have to be there at the same time as me. You don't even have to be on Zoom. But during the quizzes you do, and I want your camera on during the quizzes, all right? So let me kind of explain how that's gonna work, all right? So, and then I'll hang out way after that. Let's see, say 2:20 to maybe, I don't know, close to 3:45, 4 o'clock, something like that. What you'll do is you'll come in and at 2:20, I'm gonna just have it available at 2:20. The quiz will start at 2:30, and they're about 10 or 15 minute quizzes. The quizzes are gonna be over. If you look, let's look at experiment 1. That's the quiz, it's the pre-lab quiz, all right? So you'll have a period of time to do that quiz. I like to start at 2:30 because ideally you've come in, let's say for experiment 1, you've read this is all the background, you've watched the whiteboard video, and then maybe you have some questions. So you've got 10 minutes before the quiz that you can ask me questions, all right? Then you take the quiz, and then that's that, all right? And I'm not gonna be lecturing on Wednesday. All the lectures are videos online. All right, I'll explain a little bit more of the structure as we go. All right, the drop date is April 16th. The rest of the stuff you can read. I'm going to explain all this stuff down here. I'm going to explain all this over here. So let's go ahead and go through how the labs are going to work, and that's on this. All right, so this is the website. This is the link to Zoom. This is a link to student services. So you definitely want to have a look at what student services has available, because there's a lot of stuff there like counseling and career services. A lot of stuff can help you guys out. All right, good stuff. And remember, we're not going to be online forever. This is about safety and equipment. So there's some background here to read. I want you to watch this safety video. So the safety video is a ton of long. It's American Chemical Society safety video. but it's important to watch it even though you won't be doing actual lab work, but you never know. Down the road, you're all gonna be excited about this and change your majors to chemistry, so it's a good idea to watch it. And there's a safety quiz. This is required. It doesn't count on your grade, but I want you to take the quiz. Right, this is just something you can read because it'll explain everything. But let me just go through how things are structured. So the idea is this: you come in, this is what would be in the lab manual. So on February 10th, so we're going to meet the first time, second, third, on the 3rd. The following week, and that's when you can go through all this, right? The following week, you're going to have a quiz on experiment 1. And so you should have read this before then. The whiteboard video is literally, it's a whiteboard with words magically appearing and me talking over it to explain this experiment. Sometimes there'll be more than one whiteboard, but usually it's just one. Then you have the quiz. The videos are linked to the background here at each activity, and the videos are going to be me doing the experiment. Sometimes you're going to need to get data from the video. Sometimes it's just going to be what it looks like to actually do it. It's going to depend on the experiment itself. But you see, there's frequently a lot of videos because normally there's a lot to do in the experiments. So you should watch all these. They're not terribly long, all right? Then you have the data sheet. So just to show you what this looks like, let me open up this one for you. This is something you're going to need to upload. So here's the data sheet, and you can see that it says, you know, will it float before, answer before you watch the video, and then you just put something, you answer the questions here. Then after the video, you can fill it in. And then you just answer these questions, and these will be stuff that if you had actually done the experiment, you would do it. You can see in this case, some numbers are filled in for you. Sometimes you'll have to get the numbers out of the video or the data from the video. It's going to depend on the experiment, but you'll have to fill in the rest of this, right? The rest of this, answer these questions here, and so on and so forth. All right, fill out all this stuff, and then you're going to fill this out, and then you're going to upload it. So you might want to print it, fill it out by hand, and then where are you going to upload that? That is the very last thing. It's kind of like a post-lab quiz, but if you click on this, it's structured as a quiz. You'll see the first question is upload that file. And in this case, that's a lot of points. It's 83 points, right? But that's filled in data sheet, uploaded. Then the rest of this are other questions that you're going to answer. And this is the lab and how it gets graded. And these questions are literally right out of the, if you bought the lab manual, they're the questions in the lab manual. So I didn't make up new stuff. I wrote the lab manual in the first place. So, all right. Every experiment's going to be like that. Now you'll notice, as far as due dates go, you have the quiz on week 1, so to speak. The lab itself is due the following week. So experiment 1, you'll have the pre-lab quiz on February 10th. This thing is due on February 17th. Experiment 2, you'll have a pre-lab quiz for experiment 2 on February 17th. Experiment 2 is due February 24th. So each week you'll have a quiz on the new experiment, and then you'll have the last experiment due. So what I recommend, ideally, you have experiment 1 basically finished when you come in to take the quiz for experiment 2, right? But if maybe there's 1 or 2 things you don't quite understand, you can, after the quiz is over, I can help you with those, right? Because it's not due till the end of the day. But that's the idea. Now, the grading scheme, how are the labs graded? All right, if you look at the grading, there's 10 quizzes. Now, I think there's 13 experiments. Yeah, there's 13 experiments. There's only 10 quizzes. I might even give an extra credit quiz. There's 10 quizzes. I will count the best 9. Is that right? Yeah, I'll count the best 9. All right, they're 10 points each. The experiments, there's 13. I'm going to count the best 12. Experiments are 50 points each. Now, if you look at the point values, it's a little confusing because, for example, experiment 1 is 106 points. Experiment 2 is 64 points. Experiment 3 is 37 points. So how do I make them add up to 50? Well, I do a little math magic. So let's say experiment 1, what I do is I'll take whatever your points are, times 50 divided by 106. So let's say you got 93 out of 106 on experiment 1. Your grade, if you look over here, your grade would be a 44. I'll round to the closest half. And I have to enter this in by hand in Canvas. All right? But that's how things are done. That's how the class is going to be. So the grading scheme is pretty simple. It's a 90, 80, 70 scale. So there's 10 quizzes, I count 9. There's 13 experiments, I count 12. That's 690 points. Okay, and da 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 da. Okay, academic honesty. I want you to get all your information from the background that's given to you in Canvas. Sometimes I will ask you to look things up on the internet, but the internet's not a good place for this class to look things up unless I specifically say get this information off the internet. You want to get it from the lab manual, from the videos instead. That's much better for this class because this is a course written for a specific purpose. If you look up some of the stuff on the internet, you're going to get like graduate level, PhD level answers, and that's not what we're after here, right? So that's, the academic honesty piece. For this class, you can work together on labs, just not on the pre-lab quizzes. All right, this is just another way of looking at the schedule. It's all in here as well. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to see you on the on the 3rd, and I kind of go over this stuff briefly again, but you should have watched this. And that's pretty much it. So until then, have a good couple of days, and I will see you on February 3rd. Look forward to working with you. Take care.